Hey everybody, Bonehead from the Bonehead podcast, and today we're going to have a look at some of the miniatures being produced by Impact Miniatures at the moment. They've got a Kickstarter going down. It is Elf and Dark Elf fantasy football teams, digital STL or printed team, good value, and you've got all the positionals there for 4 different elf teams. You've got all the blitzers, all the catchers, all the throwers, all the witch elves, all the war dancers, all the assassins that you need for all these elf teams. So we're going to have a look at 2 printed models, then we're going to have a look at the Kickstarter for the value. So we've got 2 models that we've printed. We've got a War Dancer here, who you can see the detail of. Now, I've used an Elegoo Mars 2. It's my 2nd or 3rd print. My other one is off-road at the moment, so I've picked up a new one. And this is just straight up using the settings. Now, you can see the print quality, fantastic. The dynamism is really good. You can see all the detail there. What I probably should have done is primed this so you could see the model. But look, as I move it around, you can see all the sculpting detail. We've also got a catcher here. Let's see if we can get that on the camera as well. Bit of a jump lag there. Now I've got my phone light on as well, so we can just see the detail. But there we go. So this is a pre-supported version with tabs. Now in the Kickstarter there are pre-supported, there are unsupported, and there are tabbed and untabbed for bases. So it's up to you which one you print. We got hold of the tabbed ones, and you know what? With a little bit of filing, it fit in the Games Workshop base lovely, which made it so much easier for me. So, probably most importantly, you want to see sizes. So we've got, oh dear, joggling that all around. We've got a thrower here from the Wood Elf kit. Seemed appropriate as we had a War Dancer here. So let's put base by base. So we can see that the Impact Miniatures Elf is a little bit bigger than the War Dancer. Than the Wood Elf Thrower. Now that is appropriate because the Wood Elf team is a little bit smaller than the other Games Workshop teams. Now that's why I wanted to grab the Wood Elf Thrower, is because they are a little on the slight side, whereas the Elven Union team are a little bit bigger. So what we have here when it comes to the Impact Miniatures, which are printed at 100% scale, okay, they're a little bit bigger than the Wood Elves, which means they are going to be about on scale with everything else. Now, we've also got our customary Strength 4 piece here, which is the Black Orc, so you can see the heft of these elves versus the Strength 4 pieces. So Elf has the height, and I think it's safe to say that the Black Orc has the might there when it comes to mass. And when it comes to the Catcher, the same is true again compared to the Wood Elf. A little bit taller than the Wood Elf. Mass-wise is about the same, definitely looking very comparable to the Games Workshop one. Now, the style won't match up with the Games Workshop models perfectly, but that's the whole point here, is you're getting a customizable team. You're getting a variable team of models that suit themselves brilliantly. You can see the details great, the size was perfect for Games Workshop. Impact Miniatures have been making miniatures for a long time, and they've been making very good ones. And when it comes to the STLs, these printed first time without any problems. There was hardly any support, so I did the hot water trick and they came off perfectly. I've had to do basically nothing else apart from sand down a little bit of the Games Workshop base to get the tab in. If you're not using tabs, you don't have to worry. And if you are using tabs, it is literally just you drag your clippers along the inside and then they slot in very securely. Really impressed. So let's have a look at the actual Kickstarter page now. So there's 11 days to go as of the time of filming, which means they've got until the 10th of September. Now they've already smashed their goal, which is brilliant, 63 backers. So 10th of September, as this video goes out, you've got almost 2 weeks to get it done. Definitely back it. Now let's have a look at the models and let's have a look at the value. So all the Kickstarter here, digital set is going to be 21 different models. 4 linemen, 3 blitzers, 2 throwers, 2 catchers, 1 kicker, 2 witch elves, both with big hair and normal hair, 2 assassins, 2 war dancers, and a skeleton elf in case you play undead as well. Stretch goals added a 22nd model to the set, an elf line woman. So you get all the positionals for all the elf teams here. You've got line elves. Now if you are a 3D printing person, you know you can just mirror them as well. So while there's 4 line elves there, if you use the mirror option, there's actually 8 different things. 2 catchers, that's 4 different models. Blitzers, they've got 3 different blitzers, so you can kind of edit your style, but again you can mirror them, which is something that we really struggle with the Games Workshop teams. Throwers wise, you've got 2 throwers, you've got a kicker, which just harkens back to 2nd edition. I love it. You guys know I love kick as a skill, so having an actual kicker lineman is great. Now these war dancers, we've already just had a look at one of them, are really, really wonderfully sculpted. Like the detail is fantastic and the dynamic movements are brilliant. So you've got a mixture there. You don't have to use the one on the left as a war dancer if you want it more as a thrower, but the right hand one You mirror it. You've got 2 war dancers, different poses in that regard, and that's fantastic. Here we go. Here's the Witch Elves with the different hairstyles. You've got normal hairstyle, and you've got Tina Turner from the Thunderdome, which is so classic. That's just classic Warhammer. I really like it. Now, Assassins, who have got better in this edition, better movement and better targets. So bear that in mind. If you go into a tournament with Dark Elves, taking 1 or 2 Assassins, to take a couple of cheeky stabs on the line, it's actually a really good way to do things. And you've got the cool Skeleton Elf, which I think is just a great freebie. So the sculpting on this one, brilliant. They've got size comparison. We've just done a size comparison as well. They're taller than humans. They've got a little bit more mass than the Wood Elf team. The Wood Elf team is on the small end. Perfect size for me, and that's without adjusting it. And the good thing is, if you're 3D printing, you can knock it up or down a few % to fit it in exactly where you want. I wouldn't bother. I think the size is perfect, so they're right there away. Now, the most important thing here is the price. Now, when it comes to STL teams, £19 or $25 for the whole team. For the flipping whole team, that's perfect. That's 2 months of a Punga subscription. It's exactly where you want to be for a team. But it's not just one team. You get all of the teams here. You've got Elven Union, you've got Wood Elf, you've got High Elf, you've got Dark Elf. So you're just going to be able to print any elf team or just one big elf team. I really love it. And you can actually, which is really important, I've got to give Impact some real credit for this one. £55, 28 model, 1-piece printed team. Physical print of 28 models for the team, which should allow you to pay any version of the elf team like. So £55 for 28 models of this quality, of this sculpting quality, is brilliant. If that was the Kickstarter, people would have backed the heck out of it anyway. So really impressive, and estimated delivery of October 2020 as well. So you can get the STLs and a digital printed team as well for £66. So for £10 you get the STLs chucked in there as well. But realistically, the best way to do this is if you've got a 3D printer or a friend with a 3D printer and you want an elf team, or you don't want an elf team, you just want more teams or 4 elf teams, $25 will get the STLs for all of these. I think it's great value. The sculpts are great. The print was so easy. The models are just lovely. I'm really happy to have another elf option. Really impressed. And there you have it. We've had a look at the models. We've had a look at the Kickstarter. The price point's really good. If you're not aware of this and you're a 3D printer, go for it. If you need an elf team to conquer all elf teams for the rest of elf time, £55 is going to get you a team of 28 models. You are covered. That is what? The price of 2 Games Workshop teams, and you get 4, essentially, which is really sweet. Now, the sculpts are great. Okay, they are they've got that classic 2nd edition vibe, but there's enough differentiation in there. They're going to paint up lovely. They are bulked just right for elves. They match up well to Games Workshop. They're a little bit more true scale, I'd say, than the Games Workshop ones. But with the Wood Elves from Games Workshop are a bit on the slight side. The Elven Union are a bit on the large side. At least this way, you get an elf team for all the different elf teams that are going to be all of one size. I'm really impressed. I backed the heck out of it. And I hope Impact Miniatures do more Kickstarters like this, because the price point and the quality is really hard to beat. So that is a big thumbs up for me. And yeah, go check it out. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please go check out the Kickstarter, and we'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.